In this video, we will be talking about multiplying and dividing integers. And just like adding and subtracting, there's two rules that we need to remember, well, a few rules actually, for multiplying and dividing integers. So anytime that you're multiplying two positive numbers together, so that would be 7 times 2, 1 times 3, 5 divided by 5, 3 to the second power, which is really 3 times 3, and 12 divided by 6. This is for multiplying or dividing. A positive times a positive is going to always be a positive number. Now, for negative times a negative times a negative is also going to be is going to be a positive. These should be positives here. So a negative times a negative is a positive. So the answer should be positive there. And then for positive times a negative, so positive times a negative is going to be negative. So positive times a negative is going to be a negative. Positive times a negative is a negative. And then negative times a positive, same thing, is going to be a negative. So anytime that they're both the same, they're automatically going to be positive. Anytime that they're different, they're going to be negative. So let's do some practice. It says use the grid to help you remember when to use a positive or a negative answer when multiplying or dividing two numbers. So this only works for multiplying or dividing. So if you've ever played tic-tac-toe, you can win diagonally. So we're going to put plus signs for one of the diagonals, and then the rest of the spaces are going to fill in with negatives. So this shows us our rules. And you can do this backwards, frontwards, and sideways all over this chart. A positive times a negative is a negative. A positive divided by a negative gives you a negative. A positive times a positive gives you a positive. A negative times a negative will give you a positive. So you can follow the chart all around. So let's do this one. A negative 4 times negative 3. Well, 4 times 3 is 12. Now we just have to figure out is it going to be positive or negative. So let's come over to our chart. Negative 4 times a negative 3 will be a positive 12. So there's 12. This one, 25 divided by 5, is going to be 5. Now is it positive or negative? Find it. It has a negative and then a positive, and the answer should be a negative. So you just have to match up what signs are given in the problem. So I want you real quick, I want you to try 3, 4, and if you feel challenged, do 5 and 6. So 16 divided by 4 would, negative 16 divided by 4 would be negative 4. Negative 4 times negative 4 would be positive 16. Now for this one, you'll get negative 50, and then you'll do negative 50 times a positive 3 will be a negative 150, because a negative times a positive is a negative. For number 6, negative 18 divided by 3 first is negative 6. And then negative 6 divided by negative 2 is a positive 3. Now, just like we did for adding and subtracting, we also have modeling for multiplication. There's also modeling for division too, but for just our 6th grade unit, we're just going to talk about the multiplication. So for this one, I'm going 4. So this one's 4 and this one's 4. So it's 4 2 times equals 8. So I go 4 on the first line, 4 on the second line, and then there's 2 arrows, so I go 8. This one, I'm going negative 2 each time. And there are 4 arrows, so it's negative 2 times 4 arrows equals negative 8. So go ahead, you try 9 and 10 on your own real quick. So for number 9, this should be negative 5, and there's 2 arrows, so it's negative 5 times 2 equals negative 10. And then this one, you go 3 each time, and there's 3 of them. So 3 times 3 arrows equals 9. Now down at the bottom, these are the ones that you have to draw on your own. So you had the negative number will tell you which direction to go. So I'm going to go negative 3. And for these, you kind of have to mark the lines in between because they're not all there. And I'm going to do that 6 times. So if you need to, because it counts every other, put the little tick marks there for you so you know where you're going. So that's 1, and then 1, 2, 3. If you need to, 1, 2, 3. So that's negative 3 again. And then you go 1, 2, 3. There's negative 3 again, and I have to do that 6 times. 1, 2, 3. Negative 3. 1, 2, 3. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I need to do one more. 1, 2, 3, which takes you out to negative 18. Same thing with number 12. Start at 0. I'm going to go to negative 9, but they're not there. So I'm going to put the little half marks. And I'm going to go negative 9 2 times. So the first one will be here, because that's where negative 9 is on the number line. And then you can count from there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Which brings you to negative 18. So go ahead, do 13 and 14 on your own. So for number 13, you're going 4 times. And remember, if you need to put those little half marks to help you count, go ahead and do that. And you're going to go up to 4, and that's the first one. I need to do that 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you should land at 16 as your answer. And then the same thing for 14, you're going to go 2 8 times. And because this number line counts to 2, I can easily do this one. 7 and then 8. So I land at 16. And then arrowheads should go that way. You drew arrowheads on them. All right, and very quickly, let's look at the next page. So it says use the rules to solve. So we're going to go down and we're going to do the odd ones, and then you're going to do the even ones on your own when you go to do your practice. So we can do a few together. Remember that you can do that little tic-tac-toe board if you need to remember the signs. So for this one, a negative times a negative will be a positive, and it's 24. 5 times 3 is 15, and it's a negative times a negative, which is a positive 15. A positive times a negative is a negative, and it's 12. A negative times a positive is a negative, and it's negative 8. Why don't you try the rest, so 9 through 17. Try those ones on your own real quick, and then we'll come back together and look at those. So for number 9, that should be negative 30. 11 would be negative 4. 13 would be negative 4 as well. I don't know what the problem here is for 15. I can't see mine. It's a division problem. I can't tell if it's positive or negative, so I need you to do that one on your own, and you can check it on the key online. And then negative 10 divided by negative 5 would be a positive 2.